Welcome back to this episode of Fresh Takes. We're doing our season recap and playoff preview episode. First off, the Freshies, another great season. Finished 10-3, top of the standings. I mean, no big surprise. Yeah, I think they had 5 weekly high scores this season, which is incredible. Yeah, actually, over the last 2 seasons, they've had 9 weekly top scores, which is by far the most. The next highest is 4 by both Trump U and Ryan's baseball cards. Yeah, but no scoring title either year. That's true. You know, it kind of shows that there's a boom and bust type, scenario you need to work with this team. But you like your chances going into the playoffs. Yeah, I think so too. And the bubble teams, if you will, just really laid an egg in week 13, and I don't expect any of those teams to do very well in the postseason. Well, that's true, but you have teams like Riggs, who, for example, is still trying to get healthy, and if they do, maybe they make a run. Well, we'll get into our predictions later in the show, but that's some good insight. Let's go ahead and look at the Freshies roster and just kind of give our final thoughts on the season, if you will. To me, the MVP this year is Josh Allen. I mean, he has just been incredible. I think he's a top 3 scoring quarterback in the league. It's just he's been great. Yeah, I agree. But I mean, for me, it's Aaron Jones. Like, he is, he's been the Freshies keeper the last 2 seasons. And he's the rock. He's missed a couple games. Yeah, and Devontae Adams has missed a couple games too. But he's, I think, averaging the most points per game at wide receiver this year, which is incredible. Yeah, those 2 Green Bay players are key for any success the Freshies are going to have in the playoffs, and no doubt. All right, well, let's move on to the disappointments of the year. And I mean, I think it's pretty clear, who you're going to pick, and I think I'm going to pick the same person. Well, it's got to be Zach Ertz. I mean, he was drafted to be a top 5 tight end, and he hasn't played, and when he has, he's just been terrible. Right, I agree. He's been really bad, and the manager kind of gave him an opportunity last week to prove himself, and it didn't work out. I think if Ertz doesn't show something to the manager here in the bye week, I think Thomas is going to get the start. I think so too. Another person you look at is Joe Mixon. I mean, he hasn't played since week 6. I think he was drafted in the 2nd round, so you expected big things from him, and he just hasn't shown it. I don't know if you remember this, but on draft day, if it wasn't for a slow trigger finger by the commissioner, Mixon would have actually gone to Sweetmeat Brown, leaving Josh Jacobs on the board for the Freshies in round 2. Whoa, I mean, yeah, that could have been a game changer. Had the Freshies had Jacobs instead of Mixon, I think they win the scoring title. I think they're the clear favorites, and it would have been a completely different season. Speaking of running backs, David Montgomery, just like the little engine that could. He just keeps chugging along, putting up solid numbers. Yeah, I mean, the last 2 weeks, he's had the best 2 scoring outputs of his season, and I expect that to continue going into the next few weeks. I think so too. Okay, let's move on to our next segment where we make predictions on the playoffs. Oh, yeah, I forgot to tell you, I booked a guest for this segment to help us out. It's pretty cool. He's actually a time-traveling robot. I don't think that's a good idea. No, this is going to be sweet. Come on, let's bring him on. Okay, let's bring him in. Hello, time-traveling robot. Welcome to the show. I can't understand a word this thing's saying. Say that again? Oh, okay. You understand him? Yeah, I actually had a cousin growing up that was a robot, so I can translate. Let's see what he has to say. He says that we should make our picks, and then he will give us his. All right, let's start with my bracket. I have the Freshies taking down Trump U on the 1 semifinal, and then on the other side, I have RBC taking down the other bye, which was Big Dick Nick. I think he's gonna make the final, and then Unfortunately for the Freshies, I think he's going to eke out another championship for back-to-back seasons. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I hope that doesn't happen. I actually have a different bracket. I have, the Freshies taking down Trump U as well. But on the other side, I with a bit of a wild card here. I have Riggs going all the way to the final. I think they're going to get healthy and have a solid performance, eking past RBC this week, taking down Big Nick pretty handily with McCaffrey back in the lineup, and then ultimately falling to the Freshies in the final. Okay, let's see what this robot has to say now, I suppose. Okay, this doesn't even make any sense. That's impossible. The Freshies have a bye this week. Well, I mean, he is from the future. I don't know. Maybe he knows something that we don't know. Can you talk to him in robot or whatever it takes to tell him to leave? Beep boop bop boop boop bop boop 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 boop. He's not leaving. What are we supposed to do here? I think he just came back from the future again with future us. This is really bad. I think he messed up the time travel continuum or whatever they talked about in Back to the Future. But look at them. I mean, they look like us, but they're a little different. They're all weird looking. Either way, you're handling this. I'm out of here.